quick.
Oh, everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything, and that's why. I'm in everything. All eyes on me. All eyes on everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything.
Okay. Because
No, you gotta let that ride out. You can't just stop
Yeah,
at
for real.
25. You
That
gotta
was
let
nice.
that
I was
ride
grooving.
out.
I'm
For
t-
real.
that's my favorite song on John's album. I promise you. Y'all got to listen to Throw the Tools Up too now.
Well, it's
Woo.
it's
Oh,
it's
your
official.
tunes.
John is the new most deaf. John is the he's the new
Oh
most deaf.
man.
When he said and
Yes.
said two,
Ooh.
I'm really
Dude.
enjoying it though, John. Really.
Yeah, you just put it in and just let it play. You
yeah,
don't have to skip to like the next songs or anything. You just put it in and let it play. That's it. And I'm telling you, it was some stuff I had to go back and re-listen to. Um,
Mhm.
oh my God, the quote that he made about um the devil tried to purchase my soul, but I don't
I don't
negotiate with
negotiate with
terrorists.
terrorists.
woo, woo. Hello.
I had
Right?
to stop and look up, like, did I just wait a minute, rewind? I'm telling you, you
Did
gotta
I
check
just
it
hear
out.
that? Did I just hear
Yeah,
that?
check out John's album. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. See, we got a full house, full room. This we'll still consider this a full room with us being here. I want to thank everyone for jumping in on tonight's live. This is Things. Oh my God, can some? Oh, send Creator Divine the link. I forgot her.
Oh,
I want to thank everyone for jumping in on tonight's live. This is Things That People Don't Want to Talk About, brought to you by God Level. My name's Renee. I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I am a mother. I am a nurse. I'm a friend. I'm an aunt. I'm a cousin. I have this podcast. I'm an entrepreneur. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Sly Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father who has a new album out on all major streaming platforms. Final Dimension, John Skywalker. Final Dimension, John Skywalker. Go stream it up, stream it up, stream it up. Salute.
Absolutely. King Newborn, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Peace, peace, peace. This King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. And as always, I am of service. Welcome.
Welcome. Saba Diamond, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Hetepu Unk Uja Seneb. I am Saba Diamin, life coach, health and fitness expert, founder of OSAR, the Abode of OSAR, Institute of Personal Excellence. And
Absolutely.
again, I'm always here of service.
Absolutely. Creation Divine, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Good evening. I am Creation Divine, and creation was created to create.
That's what's up.
Peace.
And to our newest co-host, Miss Ivy Tanner, I am so happy to have you, honey. The energy that she
Yay!
brings is absolutely phenomenal. You want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Sure. I am Ivy Tanner, a retired broadcast journalist from the Army, also known on TikTok as Inattentive Ivy because I've got inattentive ADHD and I talk
Mm,
about it all the time. Um, I'm an artist. I am me. I am woman. Hear me roar. And I'm a lover of life. And I'm
that's what's
so
up.
happy and blessed and honored to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate that
Mhm.
you were here with us. We have a special guest today. Her name is Miss Fannie. She is a mental health therapist. Tonight, we're going to be discussing depression and anxiety. Miss Fannie, would you like to give the people some background on you as far as your credentials are concerned?
My name is Fannie Rogers, and I'm a social worker by trade, LCSW, mother of one, grandmother of one, and I've been a social worker probably for the last 50 some odd years.
Okay. Okay, so when the mental health therapist, where does that come in at?
Mental health therapist came in probably when I started working in animal owned children's home with kids.
So you generally just work with children.
I've worked with children, I work with adults.
Okay.
So now I'm working at the nursing home with adults.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get started. John usually prepares a lot of questions for us. What? That's what you do, John.
I just have something out there just to keep things flowing.
Yeah. This is what we're doing, and people y'all moving all over the place.
Don't worry
Okay.
about
Who's that?
We're gonna discuss.
it. Yeah, don't worry about it. Keep going.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, I see what you did. Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, we can
Depression.
start off with this. We can start off with this one.
There you
Let's
go.
start
How
off
do
with
we
depression.
define depression?
Yeah, how do we define depression? So, what do
Let's
you
go.
guys think of when you think of depression?
I think
I
of
would,
depression in several ways, but we got it.
usually depressions are the people I've seen that have been depressed usually have taken themselves away from any social interaction with others.
Mm,
Not only that, they like to sleep a lot. They're quiet and very withdrawn.
mm.
Okay.
How do
I
we
remember.
distinguish? How do we distinguish between depression and sadness? That was one of the questions in the group.
Okay, sadness to me has usually been around when people have had traumatic situations like a death, a loss of someone or something that was really important to them. And it's really hard to distinguish, I think, between sadness and depression.
Ooh,
Okay.
how
What's the
so?
Okay.
clinical definition of depression?
The clinical definition of depression, it depends on really who you ask.
Mm.
Mm.
Usually
Do you
it's
think it's going to
withdrawn.
vary? But oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's usually a person that is withdrawn, a person who has just kind of like checked out on living. They don't interact with others. They're not calling each other. They're not reaching out, and they're isolating themselves from people.
Yeah.
Okay. Matter of
Do you
fact,
have
let's.
are there different types of names of depressions that you can list off like like clinical um
Manic depressive,
medical, yeah, things of that sort.
clinical depression, and manic depression, they usually kind of run hand in hand in terms of the way the person responds and acts. You're pointing to yourself there?
Yes, because I went through that last year. Doing Mental Health Awareness Month. I had to take 2 weeks off from doing the podcast because I was not in a good state of mind. So definitely, one minute I was up, and the next minute I was down. I was rapid, as they call it, rapid manic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, how it starts with me is I stop cleaning.
You stop what?
Cleaning.
Okay.
That's when I know, okay, what's going on. I have to start questioning myself. When I stop cleaning, it's a problem because I'll just keep putting it off to the next day, the next day, the next day, and then by the
Yeah,
time,
I had a friend here. Hers wasn't cleaning. Hers was going to work. She just stopped going.
Oh,
Dang.
Yeah,
oh wow.
that's
now
the bad position to be in. She stopped
yeah,
going to work.
when it
She
came
stopped
to
going and
work,
didn't have and couldn't give the people a reason why she wasn't coming in because she didn't know what was going on.
Wow.
whoa.
That's
Now
deep.
when it came to work, what I noticed I start doing, I start leaving out when it was actually time for me to be there.
Okay.
I would literally sit on the bed. If I had to be at work at 11 o'clock, I didn't leave out the house until after 11 o'clock.
And see, my friend had to be to work at 8 and she wasn't going at all.
Yeah.
There would be days that she would miss Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Mm.
a whole
Wow.
week.
Wow. Mm. And before I knew it, it was full blown, and my sister had to step in and help. So did John. So did King
And that
Newborn.
kind of happened with her. She not only was doing that, she had stopped answering her phone. When you called, there was no response. So literally, we were going past the house to see if you're alive and okay.
Yeah, I did put my phone on do
Mm-hmm.
not disturb. And when I did get phone calls, I was actually upset that I was getting phone calls.
Because they're interrupting your state of mind where you wanted to be.
Wow.
Mm.
Mm, yes.
Interesting.
All right, so real quick to this prompt right here. True or false, there's a difference between depression and sadness. We had 19 respondents for this prompt.
Mhm.
18 said true, one said false, and we had none that said unsure. I like Ivy's distinction right here. She says sadness is situational. You can feel sadness about a loss or grief, but people normally feel sad over an event and find ways to move past it. Depression is an all-encompassing mental health problem that affects your mind and body. It may have been triggered by an event or a culmination of traumas, but it's pervasive. It requires focused treatment plan and mental health care. Yes,
Yes,
I
it
agree
does.
with all that.
Absolutely.
Well, I would,
Situational.
if I may, I would add to that that prolonged sadness becomes depression
Yeah.
if it's
Hmm.
prolonged.
Mm.
And you so it can start out as sadness, or and then the withdrawal and everything is like the symptoms. But then that's why we have the levels of clinical depression. Then there's an acute form of depression, and that's what you would see, like sadness and stuff like that. But then there's also a depression that people go through when they're going through their spiritual evolution or spiritual awakening, and we call it the dark night of the soul. That's also a spiritual depression.
Mm.
We have those
Mm.
kinds as well.
Okay.
I guess I was just asking for clarification because, like I spoke about my own issues with depression and anxiety, but I also went through PPD, which affects women after they have their kids, postpartum depression. So
Mm.
that's the reason
Okay.
why I wanted to ask Miss Fanny if she would clarify for us, because I'm like, where does that fit in? Does that fit in? Is that just situational? Is that considered like where do we go from that? Like where does postpartum fit into the depression spectrum?
Your question regarding, you said postpartum?
Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am.
Postpartum can can go right along with depression. And it is truly a situation where, if you think about it, you've been waiting for this baby to arrive, and it's all that anticipation of this baby coming. And then when the baby actually comes, someone to feel a letdown because, and it could be centered around a lot of things like regarding attention that they might have been getting way more than what they normally would have received. And now when the baby comes, that attention has been subsided somewhat because now the focus is on the baby.
Mm. Okay.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Hmm. Okay.
So let me ask a question that I think about it.
Okay.
Do men suffer from postpartum depression also? I mean, because I'm just think like seriously, maybe they were getting a lot of attention before the baby came also, and then
They do.
after, yeah, I
They
mean, because
do.
they
Because,
always
even sometimes men even take on the whole symptoms of their wife's pregnancies,
Hmm.
right.
cravings, being sick, the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
And you're right. There's a lot of attention they receive before the child comes because now when the child comes, everybody's centered on that child.
Forget the parents. It's all about the baby. Well,
Wow.
well, yeah. Oh, wow.
I
That's
never
why
even thought about
sometimes,
that.
not, just like thinking back, I think a lot of times that brings a lot of stress in marriages when people have kids, if they're not on the same page and don't relate. Because it doesn't take
That's
people
that.
long to get jealous of the infant.
Yes, ma'am. That's true.
Mhm.
That is true.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk more about those symptoms. I know one that hasn't really popped out as we were describing, the hopelessness and the fatigue, the restlessness, the change in appetite, which either is gonna lead to increased weight loss or a dramatic weight gain, right? And a lot of the times, when we're talking about depression, we're talking about symptoms that persist for about 2 weeks, right? So that's another way that we can distinguish.
No, they can be longer.
It could be,
Because
yeah, of course.
the friend that I'm thinking of, her depression lasted, and all depression, a lot of times people think medication is a quick fix. Actually, for my girlfriend, medication did not help. She ended up having to go see a therapist.
Hmm.
And the more she dealt with the therapist, the more the therapist helped her to see a lot of things that had acquired in childhood that she was still carrying those loads around with her in adulthood. And
Mm.
one was the big one as a key was abandonment issue.
Mm.
She never got over her mother abandoning her.
Mm.
And even though she didn't talk about it, grandparents raised her. And I think those years of living with grandparents made her realize she started to understand why her mother left.
Wow.
Mm. Suicidal ideation. That's another one. I'm not too sure about sadness and suicidal ideation having a very strong relationship. But I know that with depression, at some point there's suicidal thoughts.
There are,
That
they are,
yeah,
because people just feel so worthless.
yeah.
They
Yeah,
feel
and that's why
worthless. They
that's the
feel helpless.
prolonged sadness. Yes.
Right. And they don't think they're worthy to be loved. And that was the issue my girlfriend was having. She didn't think she was worthy to be loved. So every relationship she sabotaged.
Oh wow. Oh.
Hopelessness.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
The Bible says that hope deferred makes the heart sick.
Mm.
Right.
Mm.
So
Hope deferred. Yeah. Hope deferred.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also like the meaning of your life. From what I've also gathered from, just hearing people speak on it is the lack of control over their life, or the lack of agency that they have over their lives. So we're talking about someone that might have some identity issues, and they don't feel accepted. They feel rejected by their own family. They feel rejected by society, and they feel as if there are others that are dictating the course of their life, that's dictating their decision making. And so without having that sense of agency, that sense of empowerment, oh well, it's just hopeless to live because it doesn't matter. My thoughts don't matter, my feelings don't matter, I really don't matter. I'm just here, I'm just existing. And so
You
with that lack of, oh, go ahead.
know, a lot of times we do such a job on children in childhood that we're not even aware of what we're doing with them. And I know there's no perfect way to raise any child, but just looking back at the kids that I work with in foster care, no matter how horrible they have been treated by their mother and in
Mm.
the foster care, the minute she called and said she was coming to see him, the whole world changed as far as they were concerned, because now she loves me. She wants to see me, and I'm elated.
Yeah. Because everybody wants somebody to love them. Everybody.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And you would think that those kids would turn their back. I mean, they've been abused, abandoned, mistreated, and everything. That's why they're in foster care. But they still love that parent and will knock you down when that parent comes to see them and tell you, oh, she loves me. She's here. She bought me some candy. She bought me a new pair of shoes. But what
Mm-hmm.
about all those other times when you didn't have that? That
Mm.
doesn't ring a bell to them.
So
Mm.
true.
Mm. Oh wow.
That is
And
so
we
true.
send so many mixed messages, I think, to our kids when they're growing up. I can remember, I think all kids need to have a sense that they're being loved. But I remember once not thinking anything of it. I was watching my son, I think, in his interaction with his peers. And I said to him later, I said, even if you weren't mad, I like you. And I didn't know the impact of those words until years later when he said to me, he said, I think the nicest thing you ever told me was that you liked me as a human being. And it floored me because, like I said, it was not insignificant. I was just watching him interact and thought, he's really a nice person. I like him. And I told him, I said, I like you. Even though I love you, I like you as a person. And he told me that meant the world to me.
That's
More so
interesting.
than the fact that you love me, you like me as a human being. And I think all kids are looking for that. Like, even when I go see the elderly at the nursing homes, half of them have no idea, for the most part, why I'm there. I usually have to give my name and identify myself all over each time I go to some of them. But just the fact that somebody's coming to see them, I'm
Yeah.
there for an hour. They may be delusional, paranoid, and everything else, but they know that they have that visit for an hour with somebody that listens to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference.
Facts. I just want to say that part. I could identify with your son, and I think that's something that a lot of young boys uh, we try so hard to earn mom's, grandma, great grandma, auntie, sister, anybody that's a woman. in our life, we look to be told, "Hey, look, I appreciate you. I like you. I love you." Um, I, I I can relate to what he said, and
Yeah, because I
and
think for my generation, when I talk to friends, a lot of times we'll talk about that. And we often say, we've said, I love you to our kids, our grandkids, but I don't ever recall hearing that as a child growing up.
I like you.
They demonstrated their love,
Mm.
but
Hmm.
they didn't say, I love you. And I think the first time
Right.
my mom said it, it caught her by off guard herself because she looked at me. I was going out of town and I was leaving her. And I think it's kind of scared her because I was taking a Mediterranean cruise. And she looked around and she said, I love you. And I said, well, I love you too. And I think for her, that was the first time that it verbally came out of her mouth. Now, did I know she loved me growing up? Sure. But did she ever say it? No.
You know,
Yeah.
that causes me to like bring up another question if I can interject too. Just talking about, that generation, right? Like the I love yous and those types of things. They were kind of rare from that generation,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Ooh.
Right.
So they had like that, what is it, sixth, seventh iteration of generational trauma from us being, our people in
Right.
America. So how does that depression factor into communities of color, that generational trauma type of of depression? Like how does that factor into what we go through, like how we go through, or how depression shows up in communities of color rather than communities not of color? Do you understand what I'm asking?
I think it's the hard, I understand what you're saying. I think it's the hard times that they had been exposed to. Not
Mm.
only that, the racism that they had to deal with, the discrimination when it came to jobs and everything else. They were truly overwhelmed. And I think mental health was not something they're going to talk about because the first thing you say, you're going to talk to somebody, you're crazy. Why you
That
need to
part.
go talk to somebody? And
That part.
doing that didn't help them. I think the only thing that probably prevailed with them was the faith in God and that He was going to get them through.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They prayed a lot
Yeah.
because they were not going to talk to anybody and don't even dare say that there's something wrong because they don't want the
Up.
stigma attached that you're crazy.
There
Yep.
was a distrust. Yeah. There was
Yep.
Stigma.
definitely. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah,
Stigma.
Hmm.
There it is.
yeah.
Oh
They don't want to
wow.
be known for that.
Mm,
And
mm,
you
mm.
said you work with youth that are in like the foster care system and
I
like,
work with kids that were in foster care system. I have worked with kids that have been placed by the state at agencies as well as in private homes.
so so how do you think that stigma like filters down to this new generation? Does it still filter down to this
I
new
think it does.
generation? Yeah, we're dealing with mental health and stuff.
Yeah, I think it does. Because like I said, when you think about it, not knocking any agency that house or have facilities that house children, but think about it. That is not even normal that you live in a facility, you eat with the same people every day on that floor where you are. You don't have a huge dining room where you all come and eat and interact. Um, and this is just going by what I've witnessed and seen at the facilities that I've worked at. Kids didn't have a chance to have that socialization that you would have had at the table. Nobody was at the table asking, how was your day at school? Who did you play with? What was your homework assignment? They had staff people there, but the staff people there did not sit down at the table with them and have that kind of feedback conversations with them. So they never got a chance to express that to anybody. And for the most parts, when they had problems or issues, even when I would do therapy with them, it was really hard to get to the core. I'll give you a case example. If my mother called on Monday and said she wasn't going to come and see me the weekend, now I'm dealing with that hurt, that rejection, that anger. By Friday, I am off the chain with everybody in the building because of what my mom said to me that she wasn't coming to see me. How many people were aware of that? Very few, maybe one or two, unless they shared that information with the other staff. They didn't know. So here this child is all over the place. having all kind of explosive behavior, and you're trying to figure out what's going on with them. But it was that one comment, I'm not coming to see you this weekend, that put that tailspin on.
Mm.
Wow.
And even sometimes I've seen now at the nursing homes, when I go in, I'll usually ask my elderly, did you talk with family this weekend or this week? Most of them say no. The next question, those that are mobile that I think would get out, I say, well, so did your family come and pick you up and take you out this weekend? They say no.
Dang.
She's not lying. I'm sorry. I'm a nurse. That's how I met. I was able to get in contact with Miss Fannie because of Miss Judy. Miss Judy also comes to our facility and sits down and talks with our elderly. We have seen far too often how loved ones are actually being dropped off and forgotten about.
True.
And the next time we do see family members, generally it's always around Christmas time,
Right.
around the major holiday at the end of the year. And then after that, you won't see them for like 4, 5, 6, 7 months. Some people will just call and do a check in, but no one is coming up there to visit, to
No.
take them out.
Yeah.
To
Right.
keep that communication, that love, that line strong, that family unity. No. So, we us nurses, we say we are their family.
Mm.
Yeah, you do become their
We
family.
become
Right.
their family.
Right. And they depend on you
They do.
as opposed to depending on that family.
That is so true. I have a lady who I take care of, who every time she sees me, she didn't even know my name until recently, but she always called me her angel. She said, I am so thankful and I thank God for you. That's the type of change that we make with
Mm-hmm.
people that have been put in this place and have been forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
hug can go a long way.
But I think the thing that really bothers me more than anything else when I go to the nursing homes is that I will see some individuals that, given half of a chance, they could be in their own home, still there, and not have to be in a nursing home. But for whatever reason, someone made the decision,
Mm-hmm.
it's better for you to be here than me to have to deal with you.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's where they end up. And one lady I went to see the other day, this is the first time not the for maybe the second time I've seen her really depressed. And I asked her what was going on. And her daughter's deceased, and she keeps believing her grandchildren that she can live with one of them.
Mm.
The probability of that is poor. They're not stable enough to provide a place that's secure for her to stay. And the next thing
Yeah.
would be her meds. Who would make sure that her meds are dispensed the way they're supposed to be for her?
Yeah.
Will you be cared for? But just the thought of being at the nursing home has bothered her so much now that when I go to see her, she constantly says, well, my grandson is going to get a place and I'm going to move with him. I said, do you think that's advantageous? She said, well, it beats being here. I said, okay, I understand that, but we're talking about your health and your safety. And that's the biggest concern when you're living with someone.
Yeah.
I said, how would you get your meds? Well, he'll figure it out. No, that's not the answer. So the other day when I went to see her, now she tells me she's going to go live with her granddaughter. My granddaughter is going to get a larger place and I can move in with her. I said, how many kids does your granddaughter have? 5. So I'm thinking you're going to be the built-in babysitter.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
The depression is running rapid in
Yes,
nursing homes. I'm sorry just to say
it is.
it is literally running rapid. Once I found out that I was giving Zoloft off to more than half of my patients, I was like, oh my God. And most of these patients have been put here and forgotten about family. That is
Yeah.
depressing. That's depressing. To know
Yeah.
that 5
And
years ago you were taking care of yourself, you were living your life, you were with your family, and now 5 years later you're here in this situation and no one's here reaching out to you, loving on you, finding out how you doing. So yeah, it's a lot. Go ahead.
Mhm.
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I was gonna say that on the other hand, on the flip side of that, I've come across people who have decided to take care of their loved ones instead of allowing them to go to a nursing home, but they end up depressed because they can't live what they call a normal life and things like that as well. So
Caregivers don't
depression
get a
sets in
chance to
with
have
them.
that normal life. You're right. They don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Because my
And
mom
and, I,
was
and I, just, I just think they were not properly trained for it and didn't know what to expect. And so, yeah, so it's a whole
yeah,
bunch
my
of things
mom was
they ran into.
97 when she passed.
Mm.
I was determined for her to stay in her house. And believe me, what your statement just said, it was overwhelming. And it was the cutest thing when I said I was going to get her some help. She said, I don't need any help. I said, no, you don't. I'm getting the help for me. And she laughed and she said, you're getting the help for you. I said, I'm getting the help for me. You don't need any because you got me. But I need somebody to help me take care of you. Was the part that she didn't want to get. But even when it comes down to taking, and the whole idea was keeping her in her house. I knew if she stayed in her own familiar surroundings, that she would thrive a lot better than she would in a nursing home. But then my mother had an attitude that they were old people anyway, and she didn't see herself as an old person at 97.
That's peace.
Oh, she still went to the gym twice a week.
Oh,
Wow.
Old is that's just a state of mind.
Yeah. She said, oh no. She said, I would rather wear out than rust out.
Come on now.
Bars.
Come on now.
Bars.
That's
okay,
a great
Miss
attitude
Fannie.
to have.
Yeah. Yes, that is a beautiful attitude to have. Oh my God.
Brilliant.
Title.
I'm putting that on a
Brilliant.
t-shirt.
Okay.
That's going on a t-shirt right there.
That song.
Yeah, that's a quote.
Love it.
Yeah. I would rather
Wear out and rust out.
wear out than rest out. I like that. Let's talk about this question we got up here posted. What are some causes and influences of depression?
I know genetics is one. When you go to your primary care physician, they always ask about family history, right?
Yeah.
They sure do.
Yeah. So if family history is even a factor in determining whether you're going to have depression or whether you have it, that really goes to show that there is some sort of genetic influence here. I know environmental factors, of course, we mentioned before, stressful life events, loss of a loved one, relationship problems, financial struggles. We are in a capitalistic society that, adheres to a caste system. So if you're impoverished, high risk for depression, right? Job loss,
Yeah.
right? All these can contribute to the onset of depression. Brain chemistry. So I know that if you have an imbalance of, let's say, like serotonin and dopamine, that can also contribute to the development of depression. I'm not sure of the other neurochemicals that are out there, but I know those two in particular, serotonin and dopamine. Medical conditions. Like if you have, I don't know, if you have cancer, if you have an amputated leg,
Yeah.
AIDS,
Yeah.
some sort of physical debilitating medical condition
Yeah.
can contribute to depression. Because of course, we're looking at a differentiation between two states, right? So here you are living your best life. It might be 28 or whatever. You're at 25, 28, and you're seemingly healthy, and then suddenly you have this medical condition that is so debilitating that you can't function the same way that you did before. Again, you might have lost a limb, you might have lost your sight, you might have you could have encountered cancer. And so coping with
let me
that,
ask
living with
this.
that, dealing with that
You're
depressive
absolutely
state.
right. I have a gentleman
Yeah.
now who was probably like maybe 40 when he had a severe brain injury that left him like a stroke patient. And he's at a nursing home now. And as a result of that, he has been really angry with his family for that situation. And then he has bouts of depression when he gets over his anger.
Oh wow, he's 40.
Well, let me ask this then.
They're
I'm sorry.
getting younger. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Ivy. They're getting younger.
Yeah.
Nursing homes are no longer for grandparents anymore.
No, they're not.
Younger.
I have some 20-year-olds that I work with.
They're
That is
getting younger. Yes.
crazy.
20, 25 years old, and you're in a nursing home.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, then,
You got a shocked look on your face as I'm looking at you. I used to think the same thing when I walked in the door and I looked at your chart and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
well, let me ask this then, and given what was everything that was just said, so is it? Are you saying it's the disease or the condition itself, the situation that has been acquired, that's the culprit to the depression, or is it an inability to cope
I think
with
the
it?
key thing is, I think personally, it's the inability to cope.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
reason I
Oh, you
say that, sometimes now I have a granddaughter that's 26. And I'll tease her because sometimes when I'm talking to her, especially when she was away at school, if she was in charge of the school paper, and when I would call her, I could hear the anxiety in her voice. And she would be so overwhelmed. And I said, what's the matter? And she said, well, I assigned 4 people to do something and they didn't do it. And my granddaughter is so task orientated that I can assign you 4 jobs to do, but I'm going to take over your 4 jobs because I don't think you're competent to do them. So I'm going to, be out there doing it myself. And then you become frustrated that it's not the way you want it when you do let your authority and power go. And I told her, I said, you don't own the world. You're just a little person trying to fit into the world, and stop over yourself, putting yourself out here to do more than what you need to do because you've got control issues and you're working everybody else's nerve because you're perfectionist and you want it done a certain way. So even watching her, sometimes I can see that frustration and that inability to cope with those stresses.
Mm-hmm. Having a disability. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I thought this one
Okay.
right here, this comment right here, oh, that lit me up. I
Yeah.
remember those depression rates.
Went sky high.
Yes, they
When
did.
when
They
Man,
COVID.
really did.
especially amongst the youth. That was a big one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
of
it
course.
impacted the
Yeah.
youth.
Well, I'm going to own up to, if you're talking about I was depressed during COVID. Yeah, I'm with them. COVID drove me crazy. It was that staying in the house and that isolation from other human beings. I'm not that person. I
Yeah.
can't
Mm.
stay in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
If
And
I
I
was
think all of
on
us
the porch
experience
someplace,
some
I need to come out the house.
experience some level of it. Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Especially
Yeah,
because,
financial
especially like the,
instability, the
yeah.
virtual tooling, the changes to routine, and then also
Mhm.
learning more about like being strictly cohabitating with some of your family members. Like typically you
Woo!
need a break from them, and
You
yeah, and then
got a chance to see the real you.
Yeah.
And you
Man,
got the
I
Yeah.
real
realized
them.
I don't like some of these cats.
oh man,
Well, thank you to Sheena, Aretha, and Love Sean, who are our commenters, and also Amina. Amina threw a
Mhm.
comment out there
Faithful
as well.
viewers. Faithful,
Yes, faithful
faithful
viewers.
viewers. Thank you. We
So
really
thank all of
appreciate
you.
you. We have a new number, by the way. Eight three
and
two
there
four
was
seven
another one right
nine
there.
9035. If you have any questions or comments, um, or any questions for Miss Fannie, or you want to share your experience with depression and how you overcame it, please call in. Phone line
Mhm.
is open.
That's
Another reason for depression is not knowing your place in life, never understanding what you are here for, which makes you feel like a failure. Woo! Single mothers having no
meaning.
relief or release. Oh
Agency.
wow.
Yeah,
Having a meaningful life. Oh
Okay.
man.
yeah. That's why I say there's something distinctively underlining when it comes to depression. Um,
Oh,
it's not necessarily the situations we're in, but it's in our
hi, yes,
mental
we can hear
perception.
you. I'm sorry, we have a
Mhm.
phone call. Who am I speaking
Okay.
with? This is God level. Who am I speaking with?
This is Aretha.
Hi,
Hey,
Aretha.
Aretha.
Hi, Aretha. How are you guys?
We are good.
Great. This is really a fantastic topic. And it's a topic, like the therapist was saying, that we are so not used to talking about or even dealing with. But I know me as an individual person, one of the main things that I notice about us, and now that I'm learning about us as a particular group of people, is that one thing that makes us depressed as a group is because we've been, as descendants of slavery, right? We've been made to live in a world that has rejected us and has made things so hard for us And it makes and because we seem not to be able to meet the standards of living, the standards of perfection, the standards of this world, because we're starting from scratch, we're starting from zero. Because there's no transformational wealth. Every generation since slavery, we're starting from scratch, and that makes you be depressed. And because you're starting from scratch, you can never get to where you feel like you're really trying to go. That can make you depressed. And because we're trying so hard to fit into a society that has actually locked us out, that makes us depressed. And then not understanding your place in this society and not knowing how to get there, that makes you feel like a failure. That makes us depressed. There's so many things in our group that we have had to contend with as a group. And the thing that I think makes us depressed as well is not understanding that we are a unique group. And because of our history in this group, we have very unique needs. We have very unique things that we need to be concerned about. But no one has actually allowed us to be that unique group in America and understanding that that unique group need a unique set of help and a unique set of advocacy for us. And as a result, most of us, a great number of us, are depressed because our unique needs has never been addressed. So I think our solution is that we have to begin to build up more advocacy programs for our particular group of people to deal with our particular group of circumstances and our particular group needs because of the history that we have had to live in America.
Oof,
Amen.
that was a mouth. Dang. Fool.
Facts.
which is a whole nother level of mental coping and
Oof.
depression and things like that, because what she's talking about is a narrative that we all are forced to live by. And there is a solution. I'm pretty sure John is going to start asking for solution
Oh, definitely.
later, so
Miss Aretha,
we'll
I want
wait
to
for
thank
that.
you for calling in with your comment and thank you for being
Thank
a
you.
faithful viewer. I'm sorry. My lip just wouldn't work. Please feel free to share the live on your page and don't be afraid to invite others over to the group. This is things people don't want to talk about. Thank you, love.
Thank you so much. You guys have an excellent day.
Thank you.
You too.
She was telling the truth, man. She spoke facts.
She did.
Well, yeah, I felt
Yeah,
that actually.
she did.
I
Yes.
felt that.
We're moving on to the next question, John, because I
Oh, I was
feel
gonna say one more that I
go
think is
ahead.
relevant to identify here is the
Mm.
substance abuse, alcohol, drugs. Ooh,
Hmm.
right. That's another one that can influence the onset of
Oh,
depression.
Amina.
Um,
Yeah.
Ooh.
oh,
Hmm.
oh, uh-oh. Hold on, this
Yeah.
comment right
Did y'all
here.
are y'all reading this? Yeah.
Postpartum
Yeah,
depression. I was just asking
codependency.
about. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Mhm.
codependency. Yep.
absolutely.
Oh,
You
wait.
know,
Oof.
well,
Oof. Thank you for sharing that, Miss Amina.
Man, that's a lot.
Awareness.
That right there, that's the
That's a
perfect
lot.
storm. That's the
Yeah,
perfect storm right there.
it is.
No, dead serious. I mean,
indeed.
because I
Yeah,
feel that. I feel that on a cellular level. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
all of it, the postpartum depression, the not speaking to your family, the
Goodness,
abandonment
COVID.
wounds, the codependency. Man, I feel all of that.
Oof. I'm sorry.
Bless you.
Thank
Do you guys think that low self-esteem has a relationship with depression?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, because that breeds into codependency issues and that breeds into like the abandonment wound, the attachment styles,
you.
the way that we attach to people who we're supposed to love in our lives. I mean, all of that,
Mm,
all of that brings up anxiety and depression. You have your enmeshment plus your plus like if you have enmeshment issues or if you have like severe abandonment, man, come on, bro. That like
Mm.
all of it. It all mixes together and just makes for a
Hmm.
great gravy of perfect stormness depression.
yeah.
You know, this great gravy. Seriously,
Hmm.
Okay.
Hold
I
Okay.
feel
on.
that.
Where is private chat at?
Yeah, I feel all of that because that can be a lot. Yeah.
All right, so I guess we can start talking about solutions, right?
Anxiety.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Wait
Let's
a
get
minute.
into
What?
a
What?
few
What?
solutions.
Yeah, because it's 7:45. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to rush us.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
What
other
do we
side
do
of
if
it.
a loved
Yes.
one has hidden depression? Oh my God. My sister came to my rescue. I'm just gonna have to put it out there. Danielle came to my rescue. She came over, helped me clean, and I am really funny about my house. I don't.
Yeah.
She had to help me clean. Made me dinner, lit candles. She was right there that
Did she
day.
know you were depressed?
When she walked into my house, yes, she did because she know I don't keep a house like that.
Yeah.
So it's not hidden depression. What is hidden depression?
I did hide it until she walked into the house and seen that
Okay,
I
is
still
that
thought it's a
okay? Is
problem.
that the definition? I was wondering what that was.
That's the
Okay.
problem. That
So
yeah,
it's that smiling depression. It's when you're
masking.
masking your yeah, you
Yeah, I
mask your
Okay.
masked.
symptoms.
Yeah.
We always cite Robin Williams when we talk about hidden
Ooh,
depression.
Yeah, that's
We always
true.
Yeah, I
cite
still
Robin
yes.
question that
Williams.
though. But Robin Williams, that was my dude. I loved Robin Williams.
And he
Yeah,
Yeah.
was suffering
Yeah,
from depression and ended up taking his own life. Yeah.
that's
His
not something
So
chemo.
I.
Listen, that's real. And you know something, a lot of communities of color, that's how our depression symptoms kind of pop up, kind of show up, like the smiling, joking, always trying to make, because that's a coping mechanism, it's like always trying to make people smile and always trying to make people laugh. I
Mm.
mean, for me, I can always say I always got a joke. I got 10 jokes already. They're already lined up for everybody because of the fact that I know that what I deal with. You know what I'm saying? So
mhm.
yeah, that's a lot. So my question is how do you look behind the facade and actually tell that somebody is going through depression? How do you know that it's hidden for people who are like Robin Williams and the such? Twitch, the dancer from you know what I'm saying? I mean, that was the
Yes.
saddest because he had
Yeah.
just done a TikTok the other day laughing and joking and dancing like and then
Everything was
he's
all
not
right.
here. So how do you
And a
tell? How
couple
do you
days
tell
later
that
he's
somebody is
gone.
hiding it?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
his was also a unique situation. I felt like it was more like some sort of escapism because of the whole situation that was brewing up in his life. So it was like not wanting to face it. So that was like,
Ooh,
yeah,
because that
yeah,
would
not
make it
wanting to face.
real to you, and
Yeah,
you want to reject it, deny it. Because then
yeah,
I'd have to be accountable for it. I'd have to
hmm,
really do something about it. But if I can keep
yeah.
escaping from it, oof.
What's on your mind, King? I hear you over there.
I
Yeah.
know I see him down there just
Yeah. When he started making noise like that, like, mm, mm.
like I saw him down there stirring. I'm like, he won't say something.
Yeah, he ready to get it out.
That's right.
Go
Thank
ahead,
you.
newborn. Speak on it.
Speak
no,
on
I
it.
mean, y'all been saying some beautiful things. So
This has been a great show so far. A
it's been
beautiful show.
awesome. It's
Very
been
great.
beautiful.
Love
Yeah,
it.
love
Do you
the
think the
vibe, love the
presentations are
energy.
different between men and women?
Depression is different between men and women.
Yeah, in terms
Definitely.
of how it's presented.
Mm. Oh, thank you.
Could be.
That's
I
a
think
good
in
question.
certain in times, yes, I think so.
A
Mm.
second.
I think so. And
Yeah,
in
because
some cases, they might present the same in some cases, but yeah, I think there could be a difference. Hmm.
well, from personal experience, when it comes to this question right here, I know. Well, it's gonna really be situational, right? But I know for one, just talking, just acknowledging them, not necessarily trying to solve anything. Because most men, like myself, we like to solve problems. And so when we're talking about depression, a lot of the times we're dealing with a state, right? But sometimes we look at it as an emotion. And so we're trying to problem solve an emotion. But I know that talking, just merely connecting, that's one way to really try to resolve this. And we're really just trying to mitigate the symptoms, right? But of course, the ultimate form of helping here is to encourage them to go see a therapist, right? Seek professional help. You could plan activities. I know that's been done for me before, and I've done it before, and that helps. Certain acts of service. I don't think gift giving really helps here. Some people would say, buying gifts would help, but I don't think so. Exercise. Exercise is a good way to mitigate these symptoms. Exercising together, especially. So it's, hey, let's get up and go do something. Now, I know this is going to be kind of contradictory because you really got to read the situation. You can't really push somebody who's fatigued to just go out and start exercising, right? So it would seem kind of counterintuitive. Hey, let's go up to the gym and let's just, knock it out. Let's get on this treadmill real quick. But they ain't even got the energy to do it because they haven't even been eating. So, proceed with caution with that one. Don't just be like, all right, hey, let's get up and go. This is going to solve the problem real quick. Exercising can help mitigate the effects, given that they're properly nourished and that they actually have the energy to get up and move. And then, encouraging them to socialize with other people. Even going with them to certain appointments, right? Like let's just say they have to go to I don't know, the dentist or the doctor. If you got some time on your hands, sometimes time really does matter in terms of mitigating these effects. You guys got any experiences in which
You said something that was really important.
Go back.
Yeah. She said that more women are sad and are willing to talk, and men are more mad and acting out about it. And I think that is really I think that's important, because that's the truth. It's like where women we're more insular about our stuff. Men are very, y'all are kind of tactile and kind of just like out about your stuff. So your stuff might come across as anger, and you might act out. And I think that's really that's really profound.
Well, as a coach, I've seen both of these in both men and women. So, and I don't think one is more likely to exude one than the other. I've seen them equally expressed. And I think it all depends on the temperament and personality of the person. That's what it seems like it came down to anyway.
What was that? Miss Fannie, you start going again.
I'm having to turn my iPad out. It's running out, and for some reason
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, there you go. Okay. Woo. All right.
Yeah, I think she was trying to. Hold
now
on.
You're mute. Unmute.
Yeah.
Unmute.
Now say something. You should be unmuted now. There you go.
Okay,
great.
Perfect.
I was wondering what you were doing over there. I was like,
my the cord acts like it's bent, and it didn't want to go in to charge up the iPad.
Looking at something, I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, that's what was going on. The battery was going down on it. So
okay. What are some ways you can overcome or successfly manage your
What are some ways you've overcome? So this one was addressed to the group just to get some responses out of everyone. Let me see if I can find that post real quick.
Go ahead, and I can talk about having a good support system. You got to have a good support system if you're going to overcome depression. You got to have people in your corner. My brothers have, I say this all the time, and I will never stop saying it. My brothers have been, it's so important, imperative to me and everything that I've been going on. They have loved me unconditionally, non-judgmental. When I make a mistake, they address it with love. When I was going through what I was going through, they addressed me with love. John,
the love,
King Newborn, Saba Diamond. This is why I say these are the first 3 men that I trust, because they didn't, when they seen that I was going through something, they didn't take an opportunity to turn me down or to get down on me. They wanted to understand it. And remind me who I am. You need people like that in your corner. I would go to bat for any one of these men on here.
So social support
when you love somebody.
You gotta have that when you're going through depression. You gotta have that strong support system. You're not gonna make it if you don't. You have to have people in your corner. And these men have showed me that, Renee, I'm sorry, God level, we in your corner.
Peace.
Yeah. In the
We are
recovery,
definitely in your corner.
and
So
that's needed.
yeah, you
I
gotta
was going
have
to say, in the recovery community, they say that the opposite of recovery is addiction, and that's because you don't have your community. Like, you're isolated, and they're like, addiction equals isolation. Recovery equals um, s- community.
Mhm.
So you have to have a strong community.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and that
important.
yeah.
stuff, in depression and anxiety, it's always interlinked with addiction and things of that sort.
Mhm.
So that's so true. Is having a strong community it's paramount.
So it's imperative,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it breeds
baby.
acceptance, right? It breeds a lot of acceptance. And a
It
lot of the
does.
times when we're
You know,
going through what we're going through, we don't want to accept it. And when you have a community that accepts that, hey, all right, hey, it's okay not to be okay, right?
yeah,
I'm
Hmm.
here with you. I'm
yes,
with you and I see
yes.
you, right? All right, we're making this visible. Now
Hmm.
let's look at some strategies
Some
that we
solutions,
can take. Yeah, right.
John.
We're gonna
Okay.
get you right. We're gonna get you
Yeah,
right. We're gonna get you back
John.
right.
That's John is big on solutions.
He is. Yeah.
Once we
Yeah.
figure out what the problem is, okay, now we know what the problem is. Okay, what we doing? What's
Hmm.
next? How we move from point A to point B? How we get from here to there? Because we can't stay here. Okay, it's okay that you're here right now, but how do we move from here over there to a happy space? So yeah,
You know, I've had to go within to stay on top.
woof.
I
Mm,
It's too much out here, too many clinical definitions, understandings, um, uh, symptoms, idea. It's too much, too much. You know, it varies depending on who they say. You know, so
Well,
I've
and to that, I just say always listen to the message, not the messenger, and
mm,
see
Mhm.
if it resonates with you. But there, because I know, and I agree with you. It's a lot of people saying a lot of things, um, but there's also a lot of good things to be said. It's a
so
lot of great things being said.
I've
So
had
yeah,
to
it's
go.
just
I've had to go within to stay on top.
yes,
okay,
Like
it's
real,
gonna be different for each of
real
us.
yeah,
talk. I've had to do
yeah,
that.
and I'm the same
That's
way like
okay.
you.
Yeah, it's gonna be different for each of us. I need a support system.
Hmm.
I got John, I got King Newborn, I got Saba Diamond, and I have Creation Divine, I have Ivy Tanner, I have my
Hmm.
sisters, yeah, Robin Allen, Danielle, Megan. Yeah, I have to have a strong support system, and I have to be able to be myself with those people. And if I cannot be myself with you, then it's not gonna work. If I can't be true to who I, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I can't. Yeah, I'm sorry. You can't fake nothing like that.
Hmm.
Okay, go ahead. And I've had therapy, and I've also had medication.
Hmm.
The and I've been on some strong stuff.
Mhm.
Yes.
Lithium.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. Lithium took me from 200 to two.
Hmm.
It you know. I was walking around like if the house next door to me was burning, I would probably use it to light my cigarette. And keep going.
That's so pretty.
Yes, that is so beautiful. Look at the flames.
Indeed.
You know, so you got to be careful with that medication. You have to get something
Mm.
that's right for you that'll still have you out here caring, because it makes you not care.
Hmm.
So
And
bear
I want to say,
oh,
Sheena, I'm so happy that you're better and everything. Sheena has
there you go. Yes,
said a
Mhm.
couple of times that
overcome
she's
that.
been in and she's been an inpatient and everything. So
Yeah,
good job,
Mhm.
yeah.
good job.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my
Victory.
brothers. Thank you so
Well,
much.
it's
I
good for
appreciate
the
you.
shirt. Yeah, it's all love.
Hey, thank
It's
you,
true for
Sheena,
me.
for being
Yeah.
transparent because I've been in IOT too, and a lot
Yeah.
of people don't want to admit to that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
So being open and relieving all the shame and the guilt that other people want to put on that, that's the step to being free,
There
to
it
finally
is.
getting through your depression. And I
Yeah.
appreciate you for sharing that. Just to,
Yeah.
you know, high five, sister.
High five.
Hmm.
I'll say.
I want to say because of the podcast. Uh, thank you, God level. I didn't know what depression
Turn
was.
your mic up. Turn your
His
mic
down.
up. Yeah, it's down. Turn your mic up.
How about now? No. Yeah. No. Now.
We're gonna roll with it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we can hear you. Just
Yeah.
it's just lower than
It's
the
just
rest of us,
low.
but we
Yeah.
can hear you though.
Oh man.
Yes.
How about now? Still low?
Yeah.
No.
And
Yeah.
you got a beautiful mic too, by the way.
It
I
is.
need to upgrade.
Stop that. Stop that.
That's what I'm saying.
I need to upgrade. I would look at John though.
Yeah, Skywalker
Hey.
got the right.
Go
I
ahead. I'm
know.
sorry.
How about now? Is that better?
No,
No. Mm.
no.
No,
And
it's
I
probably
really want to hear what you have to say too. I know
yeah,
it's good.
it's probably in your settings on the application
Mm-hmm.
here. Who knows?
All right.
How about now? That's
But it's good enough. It's good
Go ahead.
enough.
hold on. Let me check.
You know, he got to get it right. It's like he waiting for he's waiting for that ultimate. That's it.
This
Wow.
mic is everything.
Yeah.
My God. Is it now?
There you go.
All right,
It's
that's
better?
Yes.
an improvement.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
For real, that's better?
That's
Yes.
Yeah.
better. That's much better.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm, I don't
Go
know.
ahead.
No, I want stress on the fact that before the podcast, and we actually started doing depression awareness, I didn't know I was experiencing depression.
I am so sorry.
No, go ahead.
God level. This is. I'm sorry. This is God level. Who am I speaking with? Ooh, wait a minute. Can you hear me? Hello. It keeps going. Hello. They're gonna have to call back. Go ahead.
Okay. Mm.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep
King
going.
Noir.
Yeah, I'm still. What about
Oh, he
Oh
don't know.
wait.
And the microphone
Oh
went
my
back.
God.
That's
Don't know
no.
Mike way.
That's
What
even worse.
about now?
Man.
There
Yes,
you
I'm
go.
messing with it. Yeah, right there. He trying to have the
Is that
perfect
better?
Brian McKnight voice.
Nah, nah, nah.
This is God level. Who am I speaking with? Hi, Sheena. How are you?
I was
Hi.
hoping she would call in. Hello, Sheena.
Okay, can y'all hear her well? Let me turn the
Yeah, we
mic
can
down.
hear.
Okay, wait a minute. Go ahead.
And I'm just calling to say, yeah, at first I was ashamed to tell people my story because, like I said, it's a stigma for us to go and talk about what's going on with us. But now that I see that it works, I'm like, I am definitely an advocate for inpatient therapy, outpatient therapy, all of it. Go see your psychiatrist, psychologist, because I feel like these days and times, everybody needs therapy right now. Like, especially if you don't have a support system.
Yep.
So I've been through it. I've tried twice in my life to take my own life. So I'm in a much better place today. And like I wrote in the chat, I I was definitely that person with the glass half empty. And now I'm getting better with the positive affirmations. Like I said, I put them on my mirror in my bathroom so I can read them every day when I get up in the morning and before I go to bed. So it's real. Like I have depression, I take meds, and I have anxiety that I take meds for. So, and I point to my depression is from my dad's passing. So when it gets close to his date of his passing or his birthday or a holiday I normally spend with him, I know myself now that maybe this month I need an extra session so I don't end up back inpatient. So I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring out myself and my depression because I really feel like this is a part of me now. Yep. I don't think it's gonna ever go away. So it's just managing it at this point.
Yep. Do you have a strong support system as well?
I really don't think I do.
Okay.
Unfortunately, my support system is at this point is my therapist, or I mean, I have a few people who I think I can confide in, but they're more like an ear to listen. They're not really, I don't know, they're not as supportive maybe as I would like them to be, but you know, everybody can't be who you want them to be. You can't control other people, which I've learned also. That was part of my depression of not being able to control because my dad passed. So I would be out and I'd be like, why does she get to keep her dad and I don't? So it's I'm kind of I don't like connecting too close to people now in the fear of losing them.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm still working on that part.
Okay. As long as you're working on it, because we all know that death is a part of life.
It's a journey.
Look, you know I know.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I work part-time in a funeral home. I've been around death all my life. So
okay.
It's just weird when somebody's close to you passes.
Yeah.
Because he's like the only person that's close that I was close with that has passed. So, and when y'all said earlier about the dad issues, my dad never told me he loved me. Never. He wasn't affectionate, never hugged me, never told me he loved me. But I can say my brothers, we noticed that after our dad passed, so we make it a point that when we see each other and talk to each other, we tell each other we love each other and hug each other.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's one of the main reasons why I'm very affectionate with my kids. Hugs, love, kisses. I will come home, and the first thing we do is embrace.
Yeah.
When I come home from work, we embrace and I hug and I kiss her. And apparently, I give out really good hugs. So if you ever need a hug, I'm your girl. I'm your girl.
Right. My son is not affectionate at all, and I think he has gotten that from me. But my daughter is the total opposite, and I don't know if she knows I need it, but she always comes up to me and hugs me.
Oh,
so, I don't.
And Sheena, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
You know, despite the lack of hugs and affection from your father, did you still feel like he loved you even in his actions?
Yes, I still feel like he loves me. It's just now I have issues with affection. I'm not an affectionate person, and it's probably from not getting affection from him. So
Gotcha.
He definitely showed me I was like his baby girl, spoiled brat, but I've never heard him say I love you. He died when he was 71. So yeah, he died.
He
like
wasn't a
6 years
talker.
ago, so
he was a walker. He showed you versus told you. Yeah, he showed you.
But I do. We have talked in counseling about maybe that's the reason why I search for men to show me affection and say they love me because I search it.
Okay, I'm listening. I don't know who that was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to. I really called to tell. I don't remember her name. Tell her thank you. Like I said, I'm very transparent about my journey and my therapy. Like I said, at first I was ashamed, but now I'm like an open book now.
That's what's up.
What I was doing. Hopefully, it inspires them to go get therapy and go get help.
That's it. Your story is going to inspire someone else to seek out help. That's it.
I don't know what
This
it
is
is
what we're
about going
talking
through
about.
it.
And it's the when my first went into inpatient, I was the only Black person. Like, I feel so out of place.
It's okay.
That
And it
part.
took a while for me. It took me like 2 weeks to open up. I didn't even want to talk to nobody because you're taught not to go and talk to people about your problem.
We
That's
discussed
it.
this in the podcast. Growing up in a household where um, things. What was the quote that they used? Oh, what goes on in this house stays in this house.
Oh man.
Right, right.
Yep, that was it. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh
I
my
just
God.
wanted to I just
Go ahead.
wanted to say, like, for anybody who's been to an IOP, I don't know what it is. If you've been inpatient or IOP, when you come out, a lot of times you just like because
Right.
I tell everybody, inpatient therapy saved my life. Like, I cannot talk enough about how much, especially people of color and communities of color, needs a lot of times intensive, therapy to go
Therapy. Yeah.
through, to go to like work out everything that you've been going through. And if you go through an inpatient program, they tell you like this 30 days or this 60 days, this is like 3 to 4 years in therapy. We're doing like the track right here. You know what I'm saying? This
Mm-hmm.
is the fast track. So so after I came out, and I was the same way. I just want to applaud you, Sheena. Thank you for calling in, and thank you for talking about it, because man, Black women, oh my gosh, they don't speak about it enough. I was the
Mm.
only little speck of chocolate in my group too, you
Right.
know. And it took me a while to, I'm normally an open book anyway, but it took me a while. I was like, nobody looks like me. This is crazy. What's going on? So I applaud you for sharing
Yeah.
it. That is so brave. You have no
Yes.
idea the precedence you are setting by
Mm-hmm.
talking about it. And you are
Right.
so strong. And if you ever need, my inbox is always open. I'll leave that to anybody because I'm an open book. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm gonna be quiet now. I'm a
Advocacy.
It's
Yeah.
all
Oh, you're
good.
fine.
I appreciate that.
Thank
Thank
you.
All right. Thank you, Sheena, for calling in. We really appreciate it, hon.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.
Peace, peace.
Mm. Tonight's been great. Tonight has been wonderful. Okay, John. Moving on to the next question. What we got?
Oh, snap. All right. So all right. Well, I mean, I guess we could move on into
What are some ways
anxiety.
that you've overcome? Yeah, solutions. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we can move over into anxiety. I know we kind of neglected anxiety here. We probably
You
got
we
what
did. We did.
15,
We got a
20
couple
minutes.
minutes. We can go.
Because I
Miss
was gonna
Fanny.
explore like,
Go ahead.
the can prayer help reduce depressive symptoms, but let's move into anxiety. So what do we
Yes.
mean when we
Go ahead.
Want to do part two?
We can definitely do a part two, but I don't know if Miss Fanny will be able to join us next week. It'll just be us.
Going on.
Part two, because depression has taken over this whole
So we're
podcast.
going to do anxiety next week.
Yes.
Cut you off door, didn't I?
Yeah. Would you be so kind enough to join us for next week too?
Yes, and I promise to have my iPad fixed so it'll stay on, not be out of battery.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
all right, so sure. Real quick then. Let's
All
talk
right. Well,
about
let's
this.
finish up on depression. Go ahead. Is the relationship between social media use and ooh, yes.
Big facts.
Yeah.
Oh, so everyone agrees? I mean, what is it though? What is it about social media that can
You're
influence
looking at what
depression?
someone else got and you don't have it, so you're feeling depressed of not having what they have because they're flaunting what they have, and 9 times out of 10, it ain't even what they have. They just putting it all out there. We be catfishing
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. It just goes back to another, diving into another narrative
Mm-hmm.
that really has nothing to do
Very
with it. We're
deep.
trying to live up to that narrative. That's what it is.
That's a very deep.
That's it right there. I mean, like if like social media and that instant validation that you get a lot of times from
Ooh, be
social
careful.
media, You
The
know, I mean,
likes.
and that right, the likes, the posts, the reposts, like all of that kind of stuff, and that can become addictive. And people don't realize that it can become addictive. And
Yeah.
when you don't get it, it's like you're going through withdrawal from a drug, and that
You
causes
need
depression.
validation.
Yep,
Mhm.
that
Dopamine.
validation, that dope,
Chasing dopamine.
Mm.
like it owes
Write the
you money.
song, John. Write the song.
Oh
Chasing
my
dopamine.
I don't feel depressed, but I feel sad quite often. Who is this? No, suffering from depression. I just wanted to be in the house all the time.
That's
And I want
Love
to go to
Sean.
work on errands. Okay, take care of my mom and spend a lot of time in the house alone. I am not sure if I'm depressed, sad, or numb. It seems like I'm always dealing with
Oh
family challenges.
Oh
man.
man.
When I want to isolate, I get up and go somewhere, if nothing but for a drive. Keep continuing to do that. But
Ooh.
it also sounds like it's time to sit down and talk to someone.
It definitely is
Yeah.
because if that coping mechanism of getting up and isolating and going for a drive, when that fails, this will be
Hmm.
full blown
Yeah.
depression. Depression comes
Hmm.
when the coping mechanisms have failed,
Mm-hmm.
when they don't work, then it's full blown depression. So it is definitely, this is when you want to talk to somebody, Love Sean.
Hmm. Definitely.
Hmm.
Definitely.
And you should definitely have a toolkit, right? And
Hmm.
that's what therapy has assisted with me. So I went to an outpatient for what was about 3.5 weeks, and quite a few people in my circle was upset about that because it just happened. And yep, God level was
Yes, you
upset.
did.
I remember. I did not forget. It was
Ooh,
like, oh,
honey, I
but I
was
had to do what I
hollering.
had to
Where
do.
he at? What's going
Woo,
on?
yeah.
Have you talked to him? How's he doing? This is a problem. I ain't talked to him. That it was a problem.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a
Hmm.
problem.
That yeah, in some ways that wasn't the best decision to just boom,
Yeah,
you
you
went
need to let somebody
ghost
know ahead
John,
of
right?
time before
Right.
you make
But
a
and that was what I was notorious for too. So I definitely
ghosting. Yeah.
resonate with this comment right here. Isolation was one of my coping mechanisms. It's just like let me go inside my shell, let me just kind of shut out the storm and let me figure this out. Let me go through this. Then I'll
Yeah.
come out. All right. And then there would be times I would take social media breaks. I deactivate for like 3 months, 6 months or whatever. But when I went to outpatient, and it got really bad.
Yeah.
The suicidal ideation became all right. Let's start planning. So that's another part we need to talk about is you know how this evolves. What
Petty.
are the implications if depression is left untreated? But
Mm.
one major factor that contributed to my healing was having more tools in the toolkit. Again, I like to solve problems. If I have a problem, I like to know what my options are, what are my resources, who I can use, what I can use. All right. And then I start creating, I start doing what I got to do. And I didn't have enough. I had like a few things that work, right? And coping is coping, right? It's just a means to, it's an attempt to adapt to your circumstances, right? But what happens when your tools aren't working? You
Yeah.
got this hammer, the screwdriver, and then that's all you got. You ain't got the buzz saw, you ain't got the rifle, you ain't got this is all you only got two. You've been doing the same two-step, and you think you finna overcome this, right? So that's the big one is that inpatient gave me more tools. It gave me more resources. It gave me more people to talk to, more professionals to talk to. So yeah, that is one major benefit. I want to dang, is it too soon to yeah. Let's go into that. Let's go into that.
Yeah.
What happens if it's left untreated? What
Suicide.
happens?
Alcohol abuse.
Ooh, I'm sorry. What did you
Yep.
say, brother?
Alcohol abuse.
Oh
Substance
yes.
abuse.
No, not
Substance
just
abuse.
substance. All the addictions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
alcohol addiction. Yeah,
Suicidal
substance.
ideation too.
Hmm.
Well, I was just speaking from a personal standpoint.
Uh,
Mm.
yeah.
If you can't remember, sis, I can drink.
Yeah. I can remember.
Uh, and I used to know.
You didn't stop.
Yeah, it don't do nothing.
Okay.
It don't do nothing. It don't serve a purpose no more. Because at one point I was doing it to mask. That's what I was trying to bring up.
Mm.
And also, by me stating that I didn't know I was going through depression, thanks to God level bringing about this podcast, and we entered into depression awareness. It helped me identify to certain things that I was doing, and a lot of stuff that I tend to read. Then between these two brothers, these fine gentlemen on this podcast, helped me understand a deeper meaning to accountability, and it's huge. It's huge when you take accountability of some of the decisions that you make. You never understand that your decision is like a drop of water going into the ocean. It's not a lot, but it will cause a mini ripple, and those ripples tend to ebb and flow twice in 24 hours. So depending on what your decision is, the consequences are soon to come. Whenever it comes, it's always the now. So when it happens, you never prepared. And I just appreciate family. That's with a PH, and those that are listening understand. They help me to sort out some things by giving me tools, like John said. They give me tools to better structure myself. One of the things that hit home, and God level was there. I had a car accident. Prior to this car accident, I also had a little boy get into my chair. I was a barber at the time, and he would always say, "Mr. Barber, thank you for cutting my hair." And I'm like, no problem. It's all peace. Well, I say peace now, but I wasn't using the word peace then. But I tried to promote that. But my key thing was understanding. But this young man, I later walked up to me at the Quick Trip on 367. He walked up to me at the Quick Trip, and because of my mentality of old ways and old habits outside, I was, not approachable. But he made sure I understood he was coming in peace. He just wanted to acknowledge me. Because I used to cut his hair when he was 10. At this time, he was in college. And he just wanted to thank me for being there for him. And, he didn't really have a father figure, so he was excited to come to the barbershop to get a haircut by me and listen to me. Just like God level have stated in the past, there'd be a lot of times a little bit of an attack in a barbershop on some of the males due to the fact they read a little bit, and we develop what you call conscious corner. That title was given to us. It was nothing that we were seeking out, but we understood the importance of young boys becoming young men and pillars in the community. So we sometimes will tell the mothers to go sit in the car. We got from her. This boy remembered that, and through that, it said it helped him in grade school, high school, and now he in college. And for him to acknowledge me like that, I was like, man, you don't understand. I was going through. I was drinking to mask my emotions, not understanding that I was going through depression. Some of us that suffer from depression are always trying to give a large portion of ourselves to others, and we keep emptying our cup, and we never have nobody to replenish at all. But I'm saying all that to say, over time, and then like I say, from my PH family, God level, you may have been going through your test of times, but your test of times tested me in my times. And the reason why I say that, because you forced me to be a brother that I never was. You and Danielle, and shouts out to both of y'all. That helped me stand up, like, seriously. I reflected on a lot of stuff because I was always trying to protect my name, because I didn't have certain father figures or just men in general in raising me. And no matter what you do in life, your decisions, they will come back to you. So if you stand on saying that this is you, some way, somehow, you will be tested. Um, and I appreciate you for that. And it was peace, but one of the biggest things you ever did, you showed up for me after my car crash. And don't know if you remember me talking about it, but I shared with you that it made me reevaluate everything I was doing, everything, and major adjustments happened the next day after being released from that hospital. So um, I wanted to ask of the panel: do you think a trauma can reset a trauma and or deplete it to where it helps you understand who you are, what you mean to those around you to bring you out of depression?
So you're saying one trauma fixes another?
Yes.
Mm. It made him
Um,
snap out of what he was going through. It made him take not snap out, but it made him take a step back and see everything as a big picture, the bigger picture. So
yeah.
that car accident made him
Oh,
take,
Oh,
hello,
absolutely. That
they
what
call
are
that
we
that could
doing?
post
definitely be
traumatic
an eye
growth.
opener.
Say it
Yeah.
They call
again.
that post traumatic growth. That's what that sounds like.
Either that or mortality motivation.
Mortality.
So funny.
No,
I like
I'm
that
dead serious. Mortality
That's
Mortality
motivation.
real.
I'm dead
motivation.
serious.
Mortality
because
motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
it just goes back to say that how it always takes one condition to trump another condition. Because when we're talking about depression and all, what we're talking about is conditions, so I see even so the treatment. So according to this question here, the treatment to depression is understanding. So what happens when depression is left misunderstood? And when there's no understanding, you don't know what you're dealing with, you don't understand the condition that you're dealing with, and so it literally it grows like a weed in your life. And then instead of plucking the weed from his roots, we spend time coping by pruning the leaves of the weeds. And as long as the roots are there, it's still going to be growing the leaves. And so we become managerially exhausted, and this is when the depression sets all the way in, is when our managerial skills of the symptoms are no longer adequate. Then
Mm.
that's when full depression sets in. So we have to get the understanding is the tool to dig it up from the root, so you can transcend it, not cope with it, but you can transcend it. And so a lot of times um one traumatic experience can also cause that, but then now you got that one to deal with as well. So so is it a good way? No, but it happens sometimes, sure. um but I think the main thing is try to seek out, and I think that's why therapy is so great and effective, because it allows you to gain understanding of the situation. So it's my
Even being aware
commentary
of
on
your
it.
triggers too.
Yeah.
What triggers your depression?
Again, there's
Someone
conditions.
mentioned
Yeah.
earlier about anniversary times. Anniversary
Yes.
times are typically triggers for your depression or even your anxiety. But yeah, anniversary dates. All right. Hey, I know this is coming up. Let me prepare for that. If this is a trigger, I have a response to that trigger. I have something in
Mhm.
place to combat or to manage or mitigate, dampen that trigger.
There you
Got it.
go. Yes. Yeah, being resourceful. That's perfect example, John. You
Mhm.
know, because you got resources. You need to make sure you have resources to deal with it. Perfect.
God level.
I've been triggered all month.
Hmm.
Just thinking about where I was last year around this time, talking about mental health
Uh,
awareness.
Mm.
Nervous to even to talk, but now that I've been able to talk about it, it's like, oh, okay, it's not a bad thing, But I've been, I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my god, I've been triggered all month.
What Scott Walker would say, own your truth.
Yes,
That's right. Own your truth.
Yeah, Skywalker known for saying that. I know, on your truth. All right, now, come on now, on your truth.
Own it.
Yeah, okay. Now we're done with that segment. Now let's move forward to the solution.
Yes,
That's
it was.
it.
Miss Fanny, do you have any comments you want to share with the question we have posted? What
I've
happened?
enjoyed this, and I'll be ready for next week.
Oh,
That's peace. That's peace.
okay. Thank you. I think you was
Okay,
on
thank
that walk.
you.
It has been a pleasure having you. We will send you the link next week at 6 o'clock, and we were gonna go into anxiety.
My favorite subject.
Oh, that's your favorite subject?
Why? Because I have anxiety. So yeah,
Oh wow.
That's
yeah,
right. We'll talk about that.
Interesting.
yes.
Yeah.
I say.
We picked a gold mine, diamond. She's a diamond. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Miss Fanny. Would you like to stay for the end? John usually takes us out.
He can.
Okay, go ahead. Go, we'll sit back.
Any closing statements, anybody?
Yeah. Any closing statements, or do we have any more questions? We're gonna have to move on to anxiety next week. Solutions. If you are feeling depressed, feeling down, if you are isolating yourself, um, it is time to get out and talk to someone. Get you a support group. There is nothing wrong with therapy, inpatient therapy, outpatient therapy. There is nothing wrong with taking medication. Get out in the sun, take a walk. Um, and
Exercise,
allow
diet.
people to help you.
Yeah, allow people to be in your bubble.
That's the biggest part right there. Yeah, community.
Allow
Yes.
people to help you.
Hmm.
Yes. Those
Yeah,
that those was my final thoughts on depression. Do not be afraid. And yeah, don't forget the yeah, and shout out to John's wife, Queen. She bought a hat. I was late sending it to her. So I sent her two black and gold God level hat at www.godlevel1.com. It's only one, baby, right here. Here I am. Appreciate your support. I want to thank Miss Annie Rogers for being our expert on depression today. She'll be back here next week to discuss anxiety. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. Things that people don't want to talk about. Do not be afraid to invite others over to the group. We are a growing community and we are of service to the community. Thank you to Ivy Turner for being a part of our team. The energy, baby. The energy. The energy is what I love. I appreciate it. Does anybody have any final thoughts they want to share before John? Everything. Take us out.
I just want to say, take time out, give a hug,
Mm.
and implement the one thing that you want the most to be given to you, which is love.
Mm.
So give a hug and implement love.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Anyone else?
Well, I like to say I'm just happy to be a part of this podcast because I know it is helping. I know it's saving lives because we
Yeah.
dare to talk about things that people don't want to talk about.
That's it.
So I do appreciate this. Thank you for allowing me to be a
Absolutely.
part of it.
Bars.
Ivy.
Ma'am, I have said, listen, I have said enough. So, and I just want to say, just like, thank you. I'm honored to be a part of this also. And, I'm real like all the mental health advice, speaking
Mhm.
about it, like you are doing healing work. So I
Yes, we are.
appreciate it.
Even
I
with
appreciate it.
ourselves. This is I told y'all this is like therapy for me every week.
I
It
see.
really is. Creation divine. Any final thoughts? You're gonna have to oh, okay, no. All right, John, what you got for us this week?
Man, it'd be like, it'd be like, even through your successes, you're too indebted for the credit. Before the movie even started, they're telling you roll the credits before you can edit. It's kind of pathetic. Like Rachel Dolez's all fading to black, but I'm already that. I'm fading away just like a wave. I flow with the flow. I know where I'm at, but where am I going? I know the direction I'm growing. Give me the green light, but I'm slowing down in this four-dimensional matrix. They asking why I ain't made it. They're mistaken with that statement. I'm Black history, so I'm always in the making. Meditating in the dark till I'm in light and like Raiden. Silence is the hair of the Super Saiyan. You can see that I'm glowing. I see that you want everybody to know you, but are you really worth knowing? See, I'm the Black sunshine. I took a day off. By the end of the day, I realized I really never had a day lost. Eternal sunshine. I stopped counting my days. You got those day ones, but still lacking in better days. To muscle up the strength, I ask for a better way. Truth is, these rappers are out of shape. Slim chance to impress me. I'm like, what a waste. Get your weight up. I'm perfecting that light speed. And you were like, whoa, wait up. Akon with the bars. It's light work. Appreciate the God body. Like, man, nice. Church. A king of peace, illustrating the art of war as I meet the standard like carnivores. Yo, does anybody have a desire for real bars anymore? If hip hop is dead, I must be Demi Moore. Does anyone have love for a brother brown skin? Crown is about as heavy as my frown is. And I was like, light up a blunt and smoke the shame away. Open up the champagne and sip this pain away. Watch World Star till you're fucking bored. They say life is a bitch till they're fucking with yours. Nah, life is a queen and you ain't fucking with mine. I'm looking for truth. Where is the lie? Get on your knees when you falling off and can't see the difference between depression and nonchalant. Spiritual wealth got me doing my taxes. I open a note and write the trauma off. It's irresponsible if I don't know my stressors. I know the edge, I know the ledge, but act like I don't know it better. See, happiness dies and is cryogenically frozen, but in the future, it never learns to live in the moment. So I put the sun in my pocket, wishing I could save this day. This is one of those hard times. Sometimes I just want to fade away. Bless.
Oh.
Did you say spiritual finance? That you doing your taxes?
Got me doing my taxes. Hold on. I come to
It must be Demi Moore.
She said, I'm Black history in the making.
Yeah, so I'm always in the making. You guys are always in the making.
Now in history run together. Yeah, now in history run together.
Okay, who is that's Miss Fannie. All right. Oh my God. I want to thank everyone for jumping in on tonight's live. I want to thank our mental health therapist, Miss Fannie Rogers, who will be back with us next week to talk about anxiety. Thank you so much, Ivy Turner, our new co-host, King Newborn, Saba Diaba, and Master John Skywalker and Creation Divine. We will see you all back here next week. John, you got me?
Yes, ma'am. Salute.
Peace.